So last night I packed up some orders, and then I had one more order come in late at night. I packed it this morning, so you didn't see that on camera, but it's a part for a vintage Singer sewing machine. I sold it for about, I don't know, 18 or $20. I got I got this whole sewing machine out of it was just sitting on the street. I picked it up and it was pretty jacked up, so I just took some parts off of it, cleaned it up. I'll probably make, by the time I sell all the parts off of it, I'll probably make, I don't know, 120, $200 maybe. I can't remember how many parts there were, but anyway, this is this part that I sold last night is going to Australia, and the buyer sent a an offer on it. So it's pretty close to what I was asking. Maybe, well, let me just see. They paid $12.74. So I probably was selling it for 15. Maybe they're doing some kind of conversion to Australian dollars to get that weird 74 cents. I'm not sure. But anyway, then shortly after they bought that, they sent an offer on another item, and I accepted that. And then it took a little while for them to pay for that, but so that didn't go out last night. That'll go out with when I pack the orders here tonight. And then later this afternoon, they sent another offer for another part. So the same buyer is going to end up getting 3 or 4 parts off of this machine. But they did send these offers and they're getting a little discount. But since it's going overseas and it's going through eBay's international shipping program, they're going to end. I don't know exactly how much eBay charges the buyers for the international buyers to ship. You know, they pay me the amount that I say I need to get paid, and then eBay charges a fee on top of that for international shipping. So a few months ago, eBay updated the international shipping program to be able to include combined orders into one box. And I think my suspicion is because they're sending me these offers, they're getting a little bit of a discount from me, but they're probably they're ending up paying shipping for each of these items individually rather than I could have put all 3 of them into one box, and I'm sure they would have saved considerably more money by just paying me full price and paying for shipping once rather than 3 times, or maybe 4 times or 5 times if they continue to send me these offers. So it doesn't really affect me too much. I mean, I'm probably going to end up making a little bit more money this way because I'm charging them shipping 3 times rather than just once. But if you are an overseas buyer and you're interested in getting a discount, I think you might be better off just paying full price if you're buying more than one item from the same seller. So that's just a little bit of advice. Just take a look at how much these things cost before sending the offers, because you might make more money. I mean, you might save more money in the long run. Okay, that's neither here or there. Tonight I think we've got 3 orders. I think we have 4, and then the 5th one, the other part that they put a offer on that they haven't paid for yet. They paid for the other 2, so I don't have any qualms that they won't pay for this 3rd part. And I hope they just keep buying more and more. So, okay, let's stop talking and let's start getting ready to pack. I'm going to go pull these orders from the inventory, and then we'll get them all packed and ready to ship. So hold on 1 second. We'll be right back. First thing we're going to do is look at yesterday, which was Tuesday, and add those 3 orders that we got yesterday to this board. So 1, 2, 3. So it looks like Tuesday's taking the lead on the largest number of sales on the day of the week. So we're gonna keep doing this and see where we end up in a few months. Okay, let's get these orders packed, pulled and packed. Okay, Sweet Valley High. Oh, I need a box. To start with. I got a whole bunch of Sweet Valley High books, And I think they're probably going to be able to fit in a box like this, Hope they'll fit in here. I'm just going to put them straight in here in order to carry them. I put them on the shelf. I was thinking about putting them in a box before putting them in storage here in the inventory, but I didn't do it. So let's get them. Maybe I should have taped this box closed before coming in here. Okay, we'll go back and get some tape. I'm not sure they're even going to fit in here, but I think they will. Okay, let's try this. If they don't, I'll figure out some other solution. Okay, these are vintage, original Sweet Valley High paperbacks from the 80s. I think the earliest one might be like 1983, and then the latest one is probably 88, something like that. I think there's about 68 books here, 66 or 68. I listed them, and then a couple of days later, I just happened to find 2 more books from the series, and I'm just going to throw them in the box and include them. I was thinking about revising the listing to include those 2 extra books and bumping the price up by a few cents or a few dollars, but decided to just include them, give them away as a little bonus. So you can see some of these are a little bit curled up and weird, but most of them are in pretty decent condition. I think almost every one has writing, the owner's name on the inside front cover. Okay, these can't go this way. Okay, looks like we're approximately 1 book over the limit, but we're gonna have to get them in here. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna stuff some paper, fill this void with some paper. I got these books I got most of them at Unique, the thrift store, and I was there on the day when it's 50% off, and then I talk about this all the time, so you probably heard me say it before, but on Mondays at Unique for members, everything is 50% off, and then as far as books go, if you buy 4, you get the 5th one free. So I ended up paying $22 for all of these books, and then I found those other 2 I got for free, the extra 2, so I'm just throwing them in here. I sold these for $68.99, which usually if I'm spending $22 on something, I might expect a little bit higher return than that, but that's not too bad. That's a pretty good, I don't know, we'll probably make $29 on these books, I think. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, for some reason, maybe I've overpacked this box a little bit, but it's not closing all the way. When I close it down, you can still see some of the book there. So I'm gonna put a little piece in here to protect those books from the elements a little bit, hopefully. So I'll just stick that in there, put a piece of tape to hold it. Come on, hold still. Oh, shoot. There we go. So after I print the labels for all these packages, we'll go over exactly how much profit we made on each item and then how much for the whole day. I think it's going to be just over $100 today, maybe, hopefully. Okay, marker. All right, sweet on here. This weighs almost 7 pounds. And these boxes are $11.97. And let's see who's it going to. I don't think this buyer paid very much shipping, so I may have underestimated the weight. And it's going all the way to Oregon, so it's going to be going pretty far. KLW. KLW is the buyer's initials. Okay, the other ones, everything else I'm going to grab right now. All at one time. Okay, LR7A, huh? Okay, this is not where I thought it was. That's curling iron set, pretty nice one. Vintage one. And then over here is the other, another piece of the sewing machine. I want to make sure I got that from the right location. F2, yeah, that's it. And then the last thing we're gonna get, it should be here too, 4A. 4A, it's right here. Oh, that book has some vinyl cover and it's sticking to the books next to it. Okay, let's get all this packed. Okay, might as well start with this since it's out already. This is the 6-week body makeover. It's really like a guidebook. It's in a binder. I sold this once before, and the buyer sent it back. They said they purchased this, the 6-week body makeover, and then they sent it back, and then their reason for returning it, they said, I wanted to buy the 6-week body makeover. I bought this book by mistake. So I don't know what happened, because they told me the book they wanted to buy was this exact book. So who knows? That week I had 4 returns, which I don't usually get that many returns, but that same week I had 4 returns, and all of them were very similar like that. Like somebody saying, coming up with a reason why they wanted to return it, that it just didn't make sense. But since I offer free 30-day returns, I don't have any recourse. If somebody says I want to send it back, I just take it back. And in many cases, I do lose a little bit of money. Like I would have made better profit on this if she had just kept it, but right now I'm going to lose the amount of money that it cost to ship it to her, and in some cases the amount of money that it cost to ship it back to me. So I'll tell you the profit I made on this when we're done here, but it's going to be a little more complicated than that because of that return that we already had. Okay. So hopefully this buyer knows what they're buying. I'm assuming they will, but I'm assuming they do, that they will not want to return it. I mean, I'm always assuming that. Every time I sell something, I'm assuming it's not going to get returned. Move this camera a little bit. Okay. 6 week. That's gonna be about 3 pounds. 13 by 11 by 3, and this is going to who? The buyer's initials are RP. Putting these initials on here helps me match the labels up when I'm finished, because I wouldn't really have any other way of knowing which label goes to which box. Okay, I'm going to put this, I'm going to look at this a little closely before I put it in the box and make sure it's exactly what it's supposed to be, this sewing machine part, and I can already tell it is. Some little wheel. I don't know what this sewing machine stuff does. This is a sewing machine probably from the 40s. Let me go back to the book. I sold that book right now for $35, $34.99 plus shipping. I have on here the original cost of goods was $3, but since I already would have accounted for that the first time it sold, when I get to my spreadsheet, I'm going to have a cost of goods of $0. Okay, back to the sewing machine. This one I found on the street. Like I said, it was just sitting in the road. And I had another Singer sewing machine maybe a year ago that I bought at a yard sale. I think I bought it for $30 and I think I sold it for like $400 or $500 for, I can't remember. It was an older one. It's a Featherlight. It comes in a case and everything. And so when I saw this one, I could tell it was a Singer, and I thought maybe it has some value. I don't really know. But when I got it out, somebody had cut, some scrapper had cut the electrical cords off of it, thinking that's the way to make the most money by getting the copper from the plugs. You'll see, if you see a vacuum in the street on the garbage day, almost always somebody has gotten there and cut the cords off because they want the copper from the inside of the cord. But very often I think they're missing the fact that the sewing machine, if it was complete, would be worth quite a lot more than however much copper is in there. Okay, this is going to eBay international shipping. So yeah, so I just took the parts off of it that I could salvage. And I mean, it was pretty rough. I cleaned it up quite a bit, and the parts that I wanted, I cleaned up. So hopefully I'll sell all the rest of these parts and make a little bit of extra money. I'm already in the profit since I got it for free. You know, I just got it off the street. Okay, this set, what's going to be the best box for this? I might just use this box right here. It's a little bit big, but my other option is to take 2 square boxes and join them together in the middle. And I have this box sitting right here, so I might as well just use it. I know these boxes are designed to be just small enough to not incur any oversized charges from the USPS. So I'm going to wrap this in a little foil. That's my alarm. Usually that alarm tells me it's time to come down here and start packing, but I'm getting a little early start on it tonight. It's only 8 o'clock now. I've been feeling a little burnout. I was trying to list so much stuff last month. And I usually have a lot of listings scheduled and ready to get posted on eBay when they get posted automatically. I usually do schedule 5 items a day. And I've been on that routine. I've been meeting that quota at least for a year and a half, and maybe for longer. At least 5 items every single day. And at the end of last month, I started ignoring that and just listing, like trying to get as many things. I wasn't scheduling anything. I was just pulling them putting items together and just immediately listing them, trying to get as much stuff in my shop as I could, because that month was going pretty poorly, and I was hoping that would help increase sales, which maybe it did, maybe it didn't, I'm not sure. But the end effect is that I burned myself out a little bit. And I think I'm going to slow down a little bit. Like right now I have one listing scheduled to go up tomorrow. And I might do another one here tonight after all of this packing is done. But I think I'm going to slow down a little because I can't keep up this kind of schedule. You know, I get off work and then I go to the grocery store or whatever, try to get some chores done around the house, run some errands or whatever. By the time we get dinner together and eat, and then I pretty much have to come down here and pack right away. And pack as fast as I can so that I can get to bed at a reasonable time. So right now I'm thinking about taking a couple of days off, don't do any listing. And come back to it when I'm feeling a little bit more motivated. I have these things I'm going to throw in here right now to fill up some of this space, so I'm not using all of this paper. I just got 2 more rolls of paper. This one will last quite a while yet, but they were waiting for me on the porch today, and I got home just in time because it was starting to rain. And I wouldn't want this paper to get rained on. I do have, that paper was in a box and it had all of this, these air bubbles. I probably could have used that in here instead of this paper. Usually when I get some unusual void fill stuff, that's not my standard. Like, you know, I usually use this over and over again. I try to get rid of it as soon as possible. Use it up right away. So that it's not there sitting in the sink looking at me. Okay, good. This is probably going to be annoyingly large for my carrier, but it's going to be relatively light. I've been hearing some people reporting that their carriers have said they're not allowed to pick up more than 25 packages at a time, or is that right? 6 packages? I can't remember. So I think somebody said they put out 25 packages and then the carrier said I can only take 6. But I know there's no like official federal USPS rules that say that, so that's probably just like the local post office making up rules that they're not really allowed to do. So I haven't had any trouble with my carrier, but I also haven't been putting out I think the most packages I ever put out for her was 16 or 18 or something like that. And lately, you know, like I was saying, last month was so slow, I wouldn't have been putting out more than 4 a day, probably most days. And she hasn't complained about anything. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing until somebody tells me to stop. Okay, I'm grabbing a label here to cover this old shipping label. I'm going to get another one. These are These ones I accidentally got, they're like 4x4.5 labels. So I just used them to cover up old stuff. I can't use them in my printer. I mean, they probably would go in my printer. I don't have any use for them. Okay, this was curlers. These I was buying these kind of a lot. If I saw an old hot roller set, I was looking at them because I thought I was kind of on the cutting edge of a new collectible or new fad or something, because I bought a few sets of them for very little and sold them for pretty high pretty quickly. But then, like, it seemed like as soon as I realized these things were worth a little bit of money, the thrift stores did too, and they started really charging up on these. So this one I paid $6.70 for because it was in such nice condition, and I sold it for $38.24 plus shipping. Let's see how much it weighs. That was in March when I bought it. So about 3 months this has been sitting here. This is 8 pounds. And this box should be 20 by 15. And I think this is gonna be 7. Oh, 9. 20 by 15 by 9. And who's it going to? MF. Okay, sexy MF. All right, the computer shut down, thankfully, when I want to use it. Let's get it turned back on again, and then we're going to buy these labels. So I'm going to put all this information into the eBay label purchasing page, and then I'll be right back to tell you how much money we made. It turned out this curling hot iron set was the one that I had underestimated the weight quite a bit. So this one, the buyer paid around $10 and it cost me about $16 to ship. So I lost about $6 on this order, which stinks, but it's not the end of the world. We're still profitable on it. So let's look at our spreadsheet. So that Clairol Carmen hot roller set, I paid $6.70 for. I sold it for $38.24. The buyer paid $10.72 for shipping. The eBay fees were $6.46, and the shipping cost was $16.39. So you can see the difference between the $10.72 and the $6.39. I did pay a promotional fee on that. I usually put 2-ish% on most of my stuff, and that cost $1.11. So total profit on that was only $18.30. So made a little mistake with the shipping, but it's not the end of the world. Some of the other ones, we make a little bit of profit on the shipping, so it balances out. Okay, the Singer sewing machine part, after all those fees and everything, we made $9.94 on that. The Sweet Valley High books, I thought I had underestimated the shipping on that, but no, we did okay. Pretty close. The buyer paid $10 and it cost me $9. So there we made $35.04. Then there's the 6-week body makeover book. We made $28. And I'm still waiting to get paid for that Singer, the second Singer sewing machine part. But it seems like we're probably going to make about $16 on that. Maybe, let's say 12, because it's going to be about $4 shipping. And so right now we're at $108.42 profit for today. After we pay that $4 shipping, would be right over 100. So not the best day ever, but I feel like any day over 100 is good enough for me. I'm looking for $100 average over the course of a month. So we got to make up for some of these lower days. Like yesterday was only $43, but right now the average profit per day for the month of June is $87.75. So this number has to be over 100, otherwise it's a failure of a month. And then the average profit per item that I sold so far this month is $23.40. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to put in a USPS pickup request and put these out on the porch for my mail carrier. She'll pick those up tomorrow morning or maybe tomorrow afternoon. And then I'm sure these people will pay for this other part. I'll pack that up tomorrow in the morning off camera, and hopefully we'll get some more sales before the end of the night tonight, and I'll pack those in the morning too. So if you don't see them, I apologize. I can assure you it's nothing too exciting. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up with my progress here for my 2025, I'm trying to reach a goal of $50,000 profit. It's going to be a tight squeeze to get there. So follow along all year. And the easiest way to do that is to subscribe and turn on notifications. Leave a comment if you like, and we'll see you next time.